Good morning and welcome to Live in a Greenhouse on YouTube. Today we tackle the foundation wall, so stay tuned for some fun. If you're new here, this channel is about my journey to design, build, and then live in the first greenhouse enclosed tiny home in the United States. I've built or remodeled a few homes in the past, sometimes hiring pros, sometimes doing the work myself. Since I have a full-time job though, this time I've hired a contractor handle the construction while I handle the video. Normally each video covers about a week of activity and I shoot the intros on the day the work is being done. Today's video is a little different, however, because there was a 2-week snow delay between the first and the second day of work. So I discarded the intro I shot on that first day, and this video covers the entire process to form, pour, and then strip the foundation walls. Let's fast forward from before Christmas when Ed and the crew stripped the forms from the footings to today is early January, and they are back to begin forming up the foundation walls. There are 3 separate wall sections, the 2 halves of the retaining wall, and then the house and pool. After Ed snapped the line, the guys followed behind to nail down the form clips. These clips will hold the bottom of the wall panels in place. Just as we were starting to get on a roll, there was a snow delay. We'd hoped to finish forming the foundation walls, have inspection, and maybe even pour concrete before year end. But it started snowing on Christmas and our high temperatures were in the low 20s, which is very unusual for this part of the world. The trailer I live in was not prepared for the triple threat of cold temperatures, high winds, for weeks. The water supply line froze, the water heater died, I ran out of propane, and the ferry to the mainland to get more propane was running unpredictably due to the temperatures and the high winds. Given the snow and ice on the steep winding road to my house, I knew that once I left, I would not be able to get back until the snow melted. I was able to run an electric space heater to keep the interior above freezing, but once the toilet froze, I gave up and went to stay with a friend near Seattle. By the time I could get home, Ed and the guys had already put in 1 day putting up wall panels, and Matt was marking where the lights go on the retaining wall and stairs. There's still some ice on the water inside and around the footings. The blue tubing will be inside the concrete to be able to run electrical wire to the lights. Ed and his crew were back the next 2 days to finish the forms. Matt marked the locations of the hurricane straps and for the crawl space vents. A triangular strip of wood was added to both sides of each wall so that the top of the finished wall would have a chamfered edge. This is not only attractive, it will allow the liner to more safely ease over the edges around the pool. It was a swarm of activity and everyone had a part to play. The building inspector only comes to the island on Tuesdays and Fridays, so we're trying to be ready for inspection this Friday. My goal is to never get in the way, so I wait until everyone is gone before I get to take a look. The foundation walls are 4 feet tall. The 2-foot tall sections at each end of the pool are where the lap pool will transition to the regeneration ponds. The building inspector said that he was inspecting 10 foundations. All were expecting to pour concrete Monday. There is a lot of water. It is flowing down the hill. Had about 10 inches of snow here yesterday. The pump stopped, so the foundation is, looks like 3 to 5 inches of water. Pump is restarted, so this should drain out pretty quickly. Inspector was here today. The forms are passed, so we're planning to pour concrete on Monday, unless the weather doesn't cooperate, which it's been doing a lot of lately. It's Monday morning. It's 7 o'clock. I'm waiting to find out if we're actually going to have concrete poured today. The forms for the foundation passed inspection last Friday, and the concrete truck had been ordered a week ahead, but apparently there's a lot of competition for concrete trucks these days. I don't have confirmation whether they're going to be here, but I'm watching the ferry. There is a truck in line at the ferry terminal. I hope it's coming to my house. Stay tuned. In the next 20 minutes, we'll find out if I'm having concrete today. And when the ferry cameras refreshed, this is what I saw. And about 10 minutes later, this is what I saw. As with the footings, the guys set up in the dark, so they were ready to begin pouring concrete as soon as it was light enough to see. Pouring walls is a bit different than the footings in that it requires going around with this long vibrator to be sure the concrete flows around the rebar without air pockets. I would not want to be the one who had to balance on top of the forms, carrying that pack, and having to lift and lower the vibrator for hours in cold, miserable weather. Hats off to these guys. Not to be outdone, this guy walks the walls backward. After the vibration pass, the guys go around to make sure the concrete filled under the chamfer strip and level and smooth the top. Not too long after 7 a.m., I heard a noise outside, and when I looked out, what did I see but the concrete guys coming to strip the forms. Although I expected them to be here today, I did not expect them to arrive in full dark, but they donned their headlamps and quickly got to work. Once again, they worked quickly and efficiently. All of the panels and 2x4s were removed and stacked at the driveway. There, each was scraped clean and loaded onto their trucks. The site was left clean of litter, and the waste they did not take was left in a neat pile. After they left, I was able to walk around to admire the work. The foundation and retaining wall are beautiful. Good thing the concrete was able to finish this week, as I finally have word from the greenhouse company that they intend to ship my package later this week, and it'll arrive next week.